Welcome to BitBoy Crypto, the people's channel, home of the BitSquad, the largest and greatest crypto community in all of the interwebs. On this channel, guys, it's our goal to help you find financial freedom through crypto assets. My name is Frankie Candles, and this is Around the Blockchain, where we discuss the hottest crypto topics with your favorite crypto influencers. Speaking of them, let's go ahead and introduce them. In the top left, we have the one, the only RiceTVx. And right under RiceTVx, we do have the one and only CryptoWendyO, also known as Daniel Pena, is Putin Satoshi. In the top right, we have Altcoin Daily. We love having Altcoin Daily on the show. And right under that, we have the great Tom Crown. Thank you guys for joining us. Don't forget, all the links to all the guests' socials will be in the description below. Definitely go check them out. And don't forget to smash that like button. So to get started here, guys, let's go ahead and jump into a market watch as that black and white plane flies around the globe.
Airplane!
Airplane. All right, here we go. Starting off with Bitcoin coming in at $19,946, breaking that 20K level. Ethereum coming in at $1,054. Ethereum down about 6%, Bitcoin down about 4.5%. Let's go ahead and check our top. Let's check our top losers today. Let's check our top movers. Polygon up about 8%. Uniswap up about 6%. Atom up 5%. Sandbox up almost 5%. We'll give it to them. And we have Leo up about 4%. So, guys, we got a really great show tonight. Some of our topics: USDC versus USDT. USDC coming up and creeping on USDT's volume. We'll be talking a little bit more in detail about that coming up soon. And then Uniswap getting into the NFT space, as well as Meta adding some new monetization tools to their platform to help out creators. And so we got some really, really good topics. So starting off on our first topic, we do have USDC creeping up, like I said, on USDT's real volume. Now, according to Messari, USDC's real volume passed USDT's real volume. If you're wondering what real volume is, Messari basically calculates this by only taking the information from exchanges that they find to have significant and legitimate trading volume. So that's why it differs a little bit from the typical volume that you'll find on something like CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko. But with that being said, we do have USDC starting to pass USDT. And just to start it off, I'm going to pass it over to you, Wendy O, or Daniel Pena. And so it looks like the volume on stables is starting to move. So let's just kick it off. What are the markets looking like? What are the charts saying? Let us know.
Come on, Mr. Frankie. We all know that you are the chart god. You and Tom. I do okay myself. But one thing I will say, with all the recent events that are happening, we know that people that are backing Circle have deep pockets. We know those same people are associated and very, very close with US regulators. We also know that Tether has been under fire for quite some time. And they were audited by NYAG. I believe the term audit is correct. And we've seen them become more transparent in the long run, but at the same time, we have this massive giant with USDC who has got very, very big backers. I personally believe that USDC will be the CBDC of the United States and potentially Europe. And we're also seeing a lot of people taking profits or even possibly selling at a loss into stables. And I believe that the stable of choice is going to be USDC, considering that FTX US also utilizes USDC. As always, do your own research on that.
Does your baby Yoda have a baby Yoda?
Does your baby Yoda have a baby Yoda?
There's also 2 other babies and a couple kitchen objects from my
fractalized baby Yodas.
It's Baby Yoda and Super Baby Yoda. Thank you for that answer, Wendy. Appreciate it. That was very, very insightful. Altcoin, I want to throw it to you real quick now. With the USDC supply gaining on USDT, do you see USDC passing USDT? Not getting tongue twisted here. Do you see USDC passing USDT in market dominance? And if so, what is your time frame on that?
USDC passing USDT in market dominance. I think that will happen. As far as time frame goes, the more time passes, the more likely I think it will happen. And definitely in the next few years, I would think, just because institutions and traditional finance people are getting more and more interested in getting into cryptocurrency, except there's one thing that's stopping them. It's unclear regulations. It's that they want to be compliant, and it's riskier for them to be compliant with Tether. It is more likely they'll go to something like what Circle is doing with USDC. It is the regulated compliance stablecoin. And I think, as you know, crypto is a lot different from Bitcoin's first 10 years. We are getting more mainstream, we're getting more regulated, and I think as more time goes on, USDC or something just as regulated is going to be where a lot of large money decides to move into stablecoins, because they want to move in, and USDC is one of the best options right now.
Absolutely love it. Now, Tom, I'm going to throw it to you. Now, with the real volume tool used by Messari, obviously, like I said earlier, it's a little bit of a different number. I do believe that they use this, little bit of a different metric to avoid wash trading, kind of messing up these metrics. Now, do you think this is accurate, an accurate way to measure, or do you think it's less accurate?
Certainly, I was looking at this myself, and at first I was a little confused. I thought maybe they were talking about on-chain kind of volume sending, but I guess they are referring to exchanges. Doesn't really seem to add up. I know USDT clearly is going to have more wash trading or more fake volume. If you go and look up exchanges, you'll find exchanges that have unreal amounts of volume that no one's ever heard of, and they're just reporting it wrong. So there's a method to his madness here of selecting where you're looking at that data, and that should reflect the rest of the market. But if you look at the last 24 hours, USDT, 41 billion traded volume. Even if that's inflated, that's 10 times out of USDC right now. I am in the camp of USDC. I prefer it over USDT at any option or any opportunity. I do think it will overtake Tether, but it's going to take some time. Even if that's doubly represented, that still puts it at 5 times more traded volume daily. That's a big gap to catch up.
I agree, and I did just swap over a lot of my USDT for USDC after USDT, after the whole Luna thing happened and USDT slipped its peg. I did trade a lot of my USDT for USDC. But with that being said, Rice, I'm going to be throwing it to you now. With a lot of these stablecoins having the troubles that they have been happening, such as Luna and stuff like that, why do you think blockchains are still trying to create their own stablecoins? Do you think they're better off trying to create their own, or do you think they should just stick to the ones that already exist and kind of have had at least some sort of test of time?
Well, first of all, thanks again for having me back on Around the Blockchain. I do encourage everybody to check out my channel, RiceTVx, as well as all the other guest channels. But I think competition's a really good thing. And even though Terra Luna, the USDT thing, kind of failed as far as their algorithmic stablecoin, I think that there is possibilities with improving those kind of models and making them actually work. And we definitely need to have choices. Now, I agree with everything that everybody has said so far about USDC. To give a little history, USDC started with Circle Invest, which is backed by Goldman Sachs, and then partnered up with Coinbase. So between the two, between Circle Invest and Coinbase, they were able to push USDC through. Now, USDC is 100% fully audited. So it's one-for-one backing. It's very transparent. So it's more safer when it comes to a stable coin. USDT used to be our only real option back, several years ago. And now we have all these different choices with DAI included. Now, USDT is going to take a while to really take out this entirety of what the cartel is doing per se, because they're on multiple chains as well. So we're not taking in account the volume that's going on the additional chains that USDT Tether is on. So USDC, I think, would need to be more competitive and be on other chains, because we have seen the gas fees on Ethereum get outrageous. And if you're able to utilize a different chain for cheaper fees, it's something that gives people that choice. So I think that's going to come into play as well. Now, people can also go back and just do a little research on Steve Mnuchin with his connections with Goldman Sachs, and him hiring Joseph Otting as the comptroller of our treasury when he got brought in as the head of treasury. And then Brian Brooks, who was the chief legal officer over at Coinbase, who ultimately took the position of comptroller of Treasury. So you can also see a lot of the interviews that Brian Brooks was doing, talking about the private sector pushing the stable coins instead of the government doing so. Now, I don't necessarily see this the USDC as being a stable coin unless they're going to offer alternate blockchains, because I don't see this information being completely open and transparent to the general public.
Gotcha. Yeah, I agree with that. Now, moving on, I do want to keep it moving. We ran a little late yesterday. I do want to keep it moving on to our next topic. Thank you for that answer, Rice.
Yeah, and I'll try to keep it shorter next time. I apologize.
No, that's okay. That's not on you. I'm just trying to watch myself because I think I dragged on last night's episode a little bit. But heading over to our next topic, Uniswap buys NFT marketplace Genie. Now, Uniswap said this is a move, part of its mission to unlock universal ownership and exchange on its platform. Now, Wendy, I'm going to start with you. In May of 2021, Uni had a high of about $45 and is currently sitting at about $5.15. Do you think that we can hit these highs again?
Interesting question. It really depends what type of building a lot of projects do in this bear market. If I was a project, I would be focusing on hitting all of my goals. I would also pay a lot of attention to what mainstream and what people that are not necessarily in crypto, what they're interested in, especially with NFTs, because the NFT industry actually this is like our first real bear market when it comes to NFTs. And there's going to be a lot of building and a lot of really great stuff that happen when the industry once the industry matures a little bit. But anyways, price does not equate to utility, number one. Number two, and also we have to understand that Uniswap price hit that all-time high because they did a lot of great marketing. They did an airdrop. They were the decentralized exchange of DeFi summer of 2020. I don't necessarily think Uniswap is super decentralized. I feel like they have to comply with local laws and regulations regarding the S word, which I won't say on the channel. But it's going to be interesting to see who sustains, and I think it is a smart business move to see Uniswap kind of merge over to NFTs.
I love that. And price does not always equate to utility. I do like that. Now, altcoin, I'm going to throw it to you. Now, do you think this is a good play for Uni, or do you kind of think they're just capitalizing on this NFT craze?
Oh, I think this is a great play for Uniswap. I mean, Uniswap has, for a decentralized exchange, it's the top as far as volume and people trading on it. And they're not trading NFTs. Now, NFTs have really blown up in 2021, but people weren't doing a lot of trading on Uniswap. This is a perfect integration, and it just excites me for the future of this space because we're seeing so many companies like this just build out and get better. Magic Eden, Solana's native NFT marketplace, has just announced they're going multi-chain, not even just Solana, because they understand that they need to meet user demand. So something like this really excites me for the future of this space. And actually, I was reading in the article about the Uniswap buying Genie. If you've ever used Genie more than once, you're actually going to get a free airdrop from Uniswap of USDC coin, just stable coins, if you've ever used it twice. So pretty exciting time to be in the space.
There you go. And speaking of airdrop, Tom, I'm going to throw it to you. Now, as a part of this collaboration, Uni has stated that they will airdrop Genie historical users. Now, do you see this drop being as successful as their last one in September of 2020 is the question.
I have no idea. The original Uni drop blew my mind. We have seen time and time again where airdrops happen and these things get nuked and they're not good to hold on to. But Uni blew me away. It just kept climbing. I'm sure it's back to kind of where it was before. In general, I'm skeptical of airdrops. What you get for free, you typically don't value, and that's going to be true of everyone else getting it. That's a lot of selling pressure. It's interesting to hear that it's going to be a stable coin.
But
that's
interesting.
That's it. I didn't know that. That's interesting. Also, side note here, everyone's wearing sunglasses.
Oh no, I feel left out. I feel left out. Hang on. I think BJ.
Mine aren't sunglasses though. Mine are so that the computer rays don't eat my eyeballs.
I thought they were your firearm glasses, and like you just got back from the range.
No, I don't own those. Yeah. I
Rice looks like he's legally blind.
Rice is like a super villain or something over there. I'm digging it though, man.
Well, there we
I had to
go.
compete with you, Tom Crown.
Yeah, Tom's always got the sunglasses. And now I match the crew. Let's go.
There we go. LFG.
Now, Rice, I'm going to throw it right to you. Now, in September of last year, it was reported that Uniswap was under investigation by the SEC. Do you see regulation, starting to become a concern for these DEXs in the future?
Absolutely, because I mean, it's going to be competing against centralized systems, centralized exchanges, and then CeFi in general, and then also with legacy finance. So someone like Uniswap, they've trademarked some of their technology. So there's ways, and they also have a domain. So there's ways for government entities to be able to contact them. And I'm sure that they are complying in certain measures. Now, there are ways around that, but it really depends on somebody's mentality and purpose for starting these projects. If they're really truly wanting to keep that cypherpunk mentality, then they'll do something like what Eric Voorhees did and turn their situation into a DAO, so it can't be pinpointed into an individual or a business entity. Now, Uniswap going into what they're doing with the NFT marketplace, the Genie was an NFT marketplace aggregator. So it's cool that they're going to be allowing for the support and buying of NFTs, which we need more competition in that element, because obviously OpenSea and other entities have more of a market share, and more competition is going to make these platforms, I think, a little bit more transparent and operate better. The more competition you have, the better it is for the user ultimately. And when it comes to cryptocurrency, we definitely need to see things be as user-friendly as possible. And also see entities start to envelop and take over startups, buy startups, and kind of try to be a one-stop shop for cryptocurrency. So that way you don't have to really go away from it. It's almost like being at a Vegas casino. When you're there, they want you to stay at that hotel. They don't want you to leave that building. So the idea is that Uniswap, when you're there, they want you to stay there. They don't want you to go to OpenSea or Rarible for your NFTs. They want you to use their services. So I see this happening a lot more, where companies will be partnering up, being acquired, and just you're going to, especially now during the bear market, where you're hearing a lot of issues with people regarding the liquidity, their finances, and the stability of their futures. So I see a lot of collaborations taking place.
Yeah, I love that answer. And the bear market, perfect time to build and kind of figure things out. And again, you're talking about, how competition could be a good thing. I couldn't agree with that more. Now, moving on to our next topic, our last topic, Meta unveiling metaverse monetization tools. Now, this is pretty exciting. I know they are, looking to add a bunch of different tools. And in June of 2021, they were saying that the company would be taking less than 30% that Apple and others have been taking. I know there is, the Facebook stars section will be open up to all eligible creators, enabling more people to earn from their reels, their lives, their video on demand kind of stuff. Now, with that being said, I am going to throw it to Wendy, back to you. While nobody wants to see a dominant Meta, I would, assume, the fact is they are huge, right? They are an absolute powerhouse of a company, organization, whatever you want to consider them. Now, do you see Meta being around for the long haul, or do you kind of think they're, the people that have been here are going to step on them, or just because they are so gigantic, they're going to be able to come in and, just dominate the space?
Meta, Facebook, Mr. Mark, they're not going anywhere. They're really not going anywhere. They have their hands in so many different aspects of global governments. They're not going anywhere. All they're trying to do is they're trying to adopt Web3 tech. They're trying to adopt the crypto culture in a sense. And this is the way they're doing it. But they also have to comply with local laws and regulations because, they're such a massive company. They're crucial to surveillance and other aspects. We all know that we click on those TOS, and in those TOS, they have complete control of our personal information, unfortunately. But Meta is not going to go anywhere. People that are in the know, they're not going to use Meta for NFTs or for whatever it is that they're selling, because we know that they don't have our best interest at hand. And there's also other decentralized products that may be better for us to use. Plus, I believe the fees that they wanted to charge on a lot of their services they offered were absolutely ridiculous. But one thing I will leave you all with before heading over to the next response is make sure you guys read the terms of services before you use any platform, regardless if it's decentralized or not. Understand exactly what you are sacrificing in order to use that service, and make sure the opportunity cost is there. Make sure that it makes sense, and make sure you understand what these terms of services mean, because if you do not understand what the terms of services mean and you consent to it, you're putting yourself at risk.
Dropping the knowledge, Wendy. I absolutely love that, especially as YouTubers like us. Definitely important to know, what you're giving up in that fine print. It's important to read. And with that being said, Altcoin, I want to throw it to you. Speaking of reading the fine print, do you see creators' rights becoming an issue for people who decide to build on a platform like Facebook?
First of all, that's good advice, but I find it hard to believe Wendy is reading all 300 pages of terms for everything she's a part of, because it's literally everything. Wendy, thoughts?
I've got a extensive legal team, and sometimes I make them do that for me.
All right, there you go. Anyways, the good thing about this, the good thing about what Facebook is doing is that people are realizing, they're waking up to the problem of Web 2. That all of us are creating the content for these platforms, whether you're just a shit poster or running a professional operation. We're creating all this content and engagement for these platforms. Compared to what they're making, we're literally making peanuts. So people are waking up to the problem. Now, a potential solution is NFTs and Web3. Not everybody's there yet that's a solution. And there is a spectrum of, is this actually going to work well? Or is there, maybe we're not there yet. Even in crypto, there's a debate. But the good thing is, that people are waking up to the problem. Now, Facebook is trying to solve this problem, get a little bit better by basically, doing what something like YouTube YouTube's the best one. Here's the thing, YouTube, we're on YouTube. YouTube sucks for, content creators making money, but it's literally the best one out of all the options. So, people are waking up to the problem. Web3 can be a solution. I think that's positive.
YouTube does pay a lot more than TikTok, though, and Instagram. It's absolutely ridiculous. I get average 10,000 views per video. I'm averaging about 2 million views per month on TikTok. And I think I make like $20 a month on TikTok monetization, where YouTube, I get a lot less views and I make a lot more than that.
Yeah, it is 40%. Crazy. Yeah, it is crazy how little you could get out of some of these platforms. Now, Crown, I want to throw it to you, Tom. Now, in May, it was announced that Polygon would be utilized for their NFT platform. Do you see Polygon or another blockchain getting more involved or implemented more into the Meta ecosystem, or do you think they're going to kind of try to control everything and keep it on a closed system?
I think the move to Polygon makes sense. They said that back when I'm sure Ethereum gas costs or transaction costs were like $200. That would just be the popular thing to move with at the time. No one wants to pay that. Really, though, they've been talking about this for such a long time, and it doesn't exist yet. It's weird to me. It seems like the boy who cried wolf. They keep talking about it. Where is it? I hope it doesn't turn out like Coinbase NFT wallet. That was a huge flop. Could definitely see that happening. And actually talking about the creator kind of fund, I just got accepted into that randomly. I don't even really use Instagram, and I paid like $14. I don't know. I'm sure that's important to somebody, and that it could be the difference for them to be a creator or not. I do like that movement towards encouraging and supporting kind of blossoming creators. But Facebook NFTs, if it's Facebook, at the end of the day, they're going to make their own chain at some point, and they're just going to have it on there because they want to control it. They don't want to be out of the grasp of the power there. So I don't know. There's my
yeah, I totally get it. It would make sense to me that Facebook would try to keep everything closed in a system. But Polygon, like you said, does make sense. So who knows? We'll have to see what happens. Now, Rice, throwing it over to you. It was recently reported that Meta was also working with Hong Kong as well. Does this raise any concerns for you, or is Meta just looking to grow?
Everything that Meta does brings concerns to me, especially the fact that people are still continuing to use these platforms, including myself, when we know that they're just collecting data and taking advantage of censorship, being able to control what you see and what you can say. So expanding out with the creator element makes sense, because these entities right now are considered private companies, so they're not bound by the First Amendment. So they can control what people say. So YouTube is in the same position. I mean, we have to watch the YouTube overlords. I mean, they're able to pay a little bit more in the monetization, but they're still, at the same time, people have to watch what they're saying, what they're talking about, because ultimately they control what people see and what people say. So the algorithm is a big part of it as well. This is collecting more data. Now, I do see Meta utilizing blockchain where it's appropriate and makes sense. But for the most part, you're going to see the majority of these metaverse projects have to have a strong level of centralization, because you're going to have to deal with central servers. And there's really no way of really getting around that one. Now, it's kind of bittersweet. Some of the things that they're going to be doing is really cool, but it's Meta. So you got to take all that in consideration. The interoperability subscriptions, I don't know the pricing that Wendy was mentioning, but it would give you access to the subscriber only Facebook groups via multiple platforms. So I think that's a really cool thing. Also cross-posting the Instagram Reels to Facebook and allowing to monetize them. And one of the other things they're testing on Instagram is the creator marketplace, which is going to allow for discovery and content creators to get paid, plus for brands to announce new partnership deals. So there's a lot of really cool things with that, but it's capitalizing on a market that's growing, and it's also capitalizing on the data collection, and it's also capitalizing on what people can and can't say and what they will and won't see.
Absolutely, capitalizing on data collection. That was the main thing I heard right there. Thank you for that, Rice. And speaking of Rice, that is all we got time for today. And Rice, it looks like you're taking home the trophy, the BitSquad trophy tonight. So the floor is yours, my friend. You got about 30 seconds to a minute. Let the people know whatever you want them to hear.
Well, I appreciate it. It's been a great panel. I respect all these content creators. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, RiceTVx on YouTube, as well as all the other channels, Tom Crown, CryptoWendyO, and Altcoin Daily. Tomorrow is 1 year since John McAfee's death. His body still hasn't been released from the Spanish authorities. I encourage people to go to my channel, watch the Janice McAfee interview. Make sure you sign and share the petition. There's going to be a tweet coming out tomorrow. It's going to be sharing a little bit more information. You can follow me on Twitter to also get that petition link. Please sign and share that petition for the release of John McAfee's body. Tomorrow is 1 year since his death.
All right, guys. So that is all the time we have for tonight. Like Rice said, don't forget to go down to the description below and give everybody here a follow. And smash that like button on your way out if it's not too much. And with all that being said, guys, that's all we got. Frankie Candles out.